For me, there are three big interview mistakes that students make. So one is going to be coming unprepared on the company history and what the job is that a student's applying for. Be able to speak to that. It's absolutely okay to have questions, but show that you've done some base level research and have an understanding of the company and the job. Two is going to be coming in unprepared and not being able to speak to your experiences with confidence. And three is going to be not asking questions. It's overwhelming the amount of interviews I go through where a student, I ask my couple of questions and then they just think it's done. But no, this is you book 30 minutes with me, take all the time you want, ask me as many questions as you want, and get everything out of this time that you can. It really stands out when a student does that and soaks up the whole opportunity.
I would say the most common interview mistake would be being afraid to just be yourself and be honest when you don't have experience in something. To me, that's a huge show of bravery and like genuine humanness, I guess, when somebody admits like, no, I actually haven't had the opportunity to do that or exposure to that yet, but I'm super excited to learn it. And I think sometimes people feel like they failed that question if they answer no. And I think most of the time, depending on the culture, it's actually viewed as a positive thing that you know where you need to grow.
For me, an interview mistake is thinking an interview is just for the company. An interview is definitely for the individual applying and for the company. So many times people come in and they just say yes to everything and don't ask questions that kind of butt heads with what we're like, no. Like, an interview is as much for the company as it is for someone being interviewed. So come in with questions that, hey, I had this concern, can I bring it up with you? Or, you know, I had this question that I'm unsure about. Do that, because if you say yes to an offer, you're saying yes to, you know, as much as the company's saying yes to you.
One of the biggest interview mistakes, I think, is people going in with the mindset of wanting to be a people pleaser. And just seeming like a yes man, which is for most hiring managers a bit of a turnoff in the terms that we want to bring in people who have new ideas, who are willing to think outside the box and kind of push back on things. So obviously you don't want to be combative or argumentative. But I think one of the biggest mistakes I always get is someone just like agreeing or thinking that everything is awesome, like can't say enough about the company. What I love is when someone comes in with some ideas of like, hey, I love what you guys are doing here, and these were some things I was thinking about of like, where could we go with this? And so just be thinking outside the box and just try to make yourself stand out, because hiring managers oftentimes are going through interview after interview after interview, and it is so important that you make yourself stand out in that process. And one of the best ways you can do that is being prepared with new ideas to provide to them so that they can show that you're ready to hit the ground running when you start.
Common interview mistakes, I feel like, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, people for some reason in an interview setting, maybe it's nerves, maybe it's a desire to just be totally professional, they forget to be themselves and actually communicate who they are as a person and what drives them. People want to work with people, so you need to be able to demonstrate that in an interview. My wife actually just got an offer, started a new company, and when she asked for feedback, the thing that stood out more than anything, not her design craft, not her accomplishments, the thing that had them say she is the one was the fact that she talked in her interview about how she likes to watch anime after work, and she has plants that she's trying to take care of and she's failing at it. And it's like, okay, here's like a relatable human that we feel we could put in front of other people and a team.
I think a common interview mistake is reaching for something that you're not and trying to pretend to be something you're not. Be honest, be vulnerable, be open to explaining your mistakes, be open to sharing your strengths, be open to sharing your failures and how you turn those into success stories, and vice versa. Be open to sharing your success stories and how that came from a failure. Another common mistake, again, is not knowing a lot about the company, not doing your research beforehand, going in and having your eyes blinded to a dollar amount or a specific employee benefit in the job description. You never want to leave an interviewer guessing what you did next. So having a complete, again, that PAR story, that problem, action, result, starting with the problem and ending with the result brings a well-rounded, complete thought, rather than leaving it open for ambiguity and interpretation, because then you're allowing the interviewer to interpret things and create assumptions based off something that you have the control to conclude.
You know, it's interesting. I have kids right now that are going through the interview process, and I tell them it's okay to make a mistake because that's how you learn. So don't come down on yourself and feel like all is lost. Move forward and learn. What I will say is when I interview somebody and that they come in and say, I want to work for Disney and I'll do anything. Well, that doesn't help me because I don't know where to put them. I don't know what to do with them. I need to have somebody that comes in and knows exactly who they are and what they do and how they can add value to our team and articulate it well. So come in prepared to sell yourself. And as I say, story sell yourself.